He is no more.
मेरे पति का बच्चा
The foremost question on people's minds in the aftermath of the horrific terror attack that killed 26 people in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir is what will be India's response. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, while in Bihar, had sent this warning to terrorists and their backers.
इस आतंकी हमले में किसी ने अपना बेटा खोया, किसी ने अपना भाई खोया, किसी ने अपना जीवन साथी खोया है। उनमें से कोई बांग्ला बोलता था, कोई कन्नड़ा बोलता था, कोई मराठी था, कोई ओडिया था, कोई गुजराती था, कोई यहां बिहार का लाल था। आज उन सभी की मृत्यु पर करगिल से कन्याकुमारी तक हमारा दुख एक जैसा है, हमारा आक्रोश एक जैसा है। ये हमला सिर्फ निहत्थे पर्यटकों पर नहीं हुआ है, देश के दुश्मनों ने भारत की आत्मा पर हमला करने का दुस्साहस किया है। मैं बहुत स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने ये हमला किया है, उन आतंकियों को और इस हमले की साजिश रचने वालों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी। सजा मिलकर के रहेगी। अब आतंकियों की बची खुची जमीन को भी मिट्टी में मिलाने का समय आ गया है। 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की इच्छा शक्ति अब आतंकी आकाओं की कमर तोड़ कर रहेगी।
But what is the shape and form that India's response will now take? India has kept the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance, and as an upper riparian state that we are, the move is likely to affect Pakistan adversely.
The Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 will be held in abeyance with immediate effect until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. The integrated checkpost Atari will be closed with immediate effect. Those who have crossed over with valid endorsements may return through that route before 1 May 2025. Pakistani nationals will not be permitted to travel to India under the SAARC visa exemption scheme visas. Any SVES visas issued in the past to Pakistani nationals are deemed cancelled. Any Pakistani national currently in India under SVES visa has 48 hours to leave India. The Defence, Military, Naval and Air advisors in the Pakistani High Commission in New Delhi are declared persona non grata. They have a week to leave India. India will be withdrawing its own Defence, Navy and Air advisors from the Indian High Commission in Islamabad.
India has also ordered the exit of Pakistani nationals living in India, and the limited trade ties that the two countries share have nosedived even further.
मेरा नाम अमित शाह है। इनको वापस करना था। हम इनको लेके आए थे
तो यहाँ गेट खुला नहीं है। अब हमें आदेश मिला है कि आप जा सकते हैं, गेट शायद नहीं खुलेगा।
आदेश दिया आपको?
है अब जिनके जरिए हम आए थे ना, जिन्होंने हमें भेजा था, उन्होंने शायद किया यहाँ रब्ता, तो उन्होंने कहा है शायद कि अगर नहीं गेट खुल रहा तो आप वापस आ सकते।
कहाँ से आए थे आप? किनको छोड़ने आए थे?
राजौरी शादरा शरीफ से।
किन्हों को लेके आए थे आप?
अपने रिलेटिव थे, उनको छोड़ने के लिए आए थे।
कब के आए थे? कब के बैठे हुए थे?
सुबह 10:30 बजे से यहाँ बैठे हैं।
तो
वही
उन्होंने
इनका
कहा
ये तो कह रहे थे जब अंदर से कोई आदेश आएगा तो हम छोड़ेंगे। तो अभी तो
अब वापस जाने के लिए कह दिया?
हाँ, अब उन्होंने कह दिया कि आप वापस चले जाओ।
गेट खुला नहीं?
ना, गेट बंद है उधर से। हाँ, वापस जा रहे हैं यहाँ।
मिसेज थी, उसको छोड़ने आए थे।
तो कब के आए हुए थे आप?
83 के आए हुए हैं, 1983।
बॉर्डर पे कब आए थे सुबह?
हम सुबह 10 बजे पहुंचे थे इधर।
तो अब क्या कहा उन्होंने?
अब कोई रिस्पांस ही नहीं दिया ना, गेट ही नहीं खोला। पिटिल जिस टाइम हम वेट करते इस वक्त तकरीबन ये 4 बज गए हैं। ये देखो
अब उन्होंने क्या किया?
6 घंटे हो गए वेट करते, कुछ रिस्पांस नहीं दिया। गेट बंद है इधर, तो फिर अब क्या करें हम मजबूर। हाँ, उन्होंने कहा कि वो ले नहीं रहे हैं इधर। हाँ, ड्यूटी जिस पर हम वापस जा रहे हैं। हाँ,
But it is the anticipation of a military retaliation that has gripped most Indians, as these diplomatic maneuvers were along expected lines. Moreover, the Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has met with his counterparts from several countries to brief them about the Pahalgam attacks.
Condolences, thoughts and prayers are also with all those affected by this murderous, violent terrorism that has taken place in Pahalgam. And I recognise for India and the diaspora communities in the UK in particular, this has been a really difficult week. This was an act of terrorism and we should call it out for what it is. So can the Minister tell us what information the UK government has on those responsible for carrying out these terrorist attacks? Does the government believe that Lashkar-e-Taiba, the terrorist group prescribed in the UK, bears responsibility? Is the government aware of any cross-border links to Pakistan of the perpetrators of this terrorist act?
In 2016, in the aftermath of the terror attack in Uri, in which 19 Indian soldiers were killed, India carried out surgical strikes in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. In 2019, following a suicide bombing by the Jaish-e-Mohammed, in which 40 CRPF jawans were murdered in Pulwama, India responded with airstrikes in Balakot in northwest Pakistan on camps run and operated by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. But clearly, retaliation hasn't meant that the terror factory in Pakistan against India has ceased to operate.
In our continuous coverage, Times Now is reporting from the ground zero in the Uri sector of line of control, and my VJ Shafiq is panning you towards these mountains. This is a POJK where we are showing our viewers that this mountain lies to the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and on the other side there are the mountains which are snow clad, and this is the last access point of the village. That's the last village from where we are reporting. And remember that since the Pahalgam carnage, there has been a continuous ceasefire violation that has occurred in this sector over the past 7 days. The Pakistan has resorted to the ceasefire violation, an unprovoked ceasefire violation. It has eventually, feared and triggered a fearing atmosphere among the locals of this, place of this locality, which are the villages lying close to the line of control. And this is our continuous and exclusive coverage from the ground zero. Shafiq is panning you towards these places. This is the line of control in the Uri sector, and as we have been speaking continuously that there has been a lot of the vigilance that have been put in place for the grounds, for the places which is lying close to the line of control. In fact, the strict vigilance have been stepped up along the line of control in the Kupara, Uri, where the Pakistan has continuously breaking the ceasefire pact of 2021. Shafiq is panning you towards these posts. Now, this is a fencing connecting the line of control towards all the, pickets or all the things that are maintaining the strict vigil on the borders. On the right side, Shafiq is panning you towards these, meadows, towards these gush greenery, which is a part of the line of control. Now, remember, if we talk about the scenario of a demography of this Uri sector, it has a very significant and a historic backgrounds as well. Be it in the Kamalkot sector, be it in the Hajipir sector or elsewhere where the continuous ceasefire violation and infiltration attempts have been witnessed.
Add to the mix General Syed Asim Munir, the current army chief of Pakistan, who is known to be committed to the Islamist ideology with a serious communal bias against non-Muslims. This was evident in his speech in the build-up to the Pahalgam terror attack, where he not only drew a distinction between Hindus and Muslims, but made a case for the creation of Pakistan. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan finds itself in a desperate situation. It is confronted with a violent insurgency in Balochistan, where its brutal crackdowns in the past have ceased to quell the discontent that's widely prevalent against its rule. In Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, there is a sense of massive alienation among the people against the Pakistani state. And Pakistan therefore finds it opportunistic to train its guns at India in an endeavour to unify a divided people against what it perceives to be a common enemy.
Pakistan Army on the night of Tuesday violated the ceasefire in Pragwal sector from where we are reporting right now. Indian Army retaliated appropriately. Surprisingly, this was the first time when Pakistan Army violated ceasefire on international border after the Pahalgam terror attack. And in fact, now what we are going to show you is the visual of that particular side, where you can clearly see that how Pakistani Army seems to be very much terrified and rattled by the befitting reply that's been given by the Indian Army. The reason being, you can see in your pictures that how not just the Pakistani posts are empty, but the bunkers are empty as well. And earlier, in fact, what the villagers also told us, that earlier on these particular posts, there were flags that were installed. The Pakistani flags, the flag of Pakistan was installed over here on these particular posts, but these flags have been removed. And now, in fact, they are certainly indicating to one simple thing, that definitely Pakistan Army has shifted their camps back. They are rattled, they are terrified, they are scared by the kind of response the Indian Army had given them yesterday, last night. And in fact, what we are also getting to know is that the bunkers are also empty over here, and they have shifted back from this particular border from where we are reporting right now, that you could have seen on your television screen. But now we'll have to see that yes, what happens next, because tension remains to be escalated on both these sides as well. And in fact, here either at the LOC and at the international border as well. यहाँ पर पाकिस्तान की पोस्ट पर फ्लैग लगे हुए थे, उन्हें हटा दिया गया है।
हाँ, पाकिस्तान की फौज पे जो इधर बॉर्डर है हमारे को आधा किलोमीटर दूर है, जहाँ से हमें सब दिखाई देता है। जो उनके रेंजर्स है वो भी इधर पहले एक हफ्ता पहले घूमते थे, लेकिन अभी उन्होंने उधर आना जाना बंद कर दिया है। जो उनके फ्लैग लगे हुए थे वो भी अभी शायद उतर गए हैं। ये
कब से हुआ है? कल चूँकि फायरिंग हुई, उसके बाद इंडिया ने रिटेलिएट किया, इंडिया ने भी फायरिंग में जवाब दिया।
हाँ, इंडिया ने तो फायरिंग में जवाब उनको दिया है, लेकिन जो वो उससे पहले भी कहीं पीछे छुपे हुए हैं, वो पहले से दिखाई नहीं। अगर उन्होंने फायरिंग भी किया है तो कहीं उन्होंने छुप के किया है, सामने से नहीं किया उन्होंने।
India, in the meantime, has been carrying out naval exercises in the Arabian Sea. Prime Minister Modi met with the chiefs of the Army, the Air Force as well as the Navy, along with the Chief of Defence Staff and the National Security Advisor. He also held meetings with the Committee on Cabinet Security. It could be said that the expectation of an immediate military response also eliminates the element of surprise that is necessary for the successful execution of an operation. Pakistan may be better prepared for an Indian military response right now, so would it be prudent to wait a while before you embark on that kind of an operation?
तो अगर वायलेशन अगर होती है तो हमने तो रिस्पॉन्ड करना है, और जिस तरह का वो इनिशिएटिव लेंगे उसी तरह फिर रिस्पॉन्स भी उनका उसका दिया जाएगा इंशाल्लाह ताला, और भरपूर दिया जाएगा। इसमें किसी को कुछ शक नहीं होना चाहिए। लेकिन ये है कि इस वक्त जिस तरह टाइम गुजर रहा है तो इसके खतरात जो हैं वो बढ़ रहे हैं, कम नहीं हो रहे। बहरहाल इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी भी इस भागदौड़ में लगी हुई है कि कोई दोस्त ममालिक भी, इस खिते के ममालिक भी, बड़ी ताकतें भी, कि ये क्लैश की सूरत हाल जो है अवर्ट हो जाए। अल्लाह करे उनके कोशिशों से जो है तो भारत को जो है तो अकल आए।
Right now on screen you can see this is Jaguar aircraft. It was in 1979. The Jaguar aircraft was inducted in Indian Air Force. It is considered to be precision strike aircraft, and it is designed in such a manner that it can go for ground attack and also anti-ship mission. Hovers over the Jalalabad sky. You can see it's going to send shiver down spine of Pakistan because this area is just 1,000 kilometers away. And showstopper definitely during this drill is going to be Rafale aircraft, and let me show you. This is 3.5 kilometer airstrip. This is going to be a game changer. This strip has been constructed on Ganga Express Highway, still under construction. That means this strip can be used as an alternate during emergency, disaster, or during the time of war. Because in case any of the airbase gets targeted by enemy aircraft, that means this airstrip can be utilized. But the best thing about this airstrip is it has got night landing facility. Let me show you. It has got, you can see, these are night landing lights here. And besides this, to ensure the security of this airstrip, about 250 CCTV cameras have already been installed. So Indian power will be on display here at a time when India has already decided to avenge Pahalgam massacre. It was on 22nd of April. We saw that how Lashkar terrorists, they killed 22 tourists. And since then, India has made up its mind that they are not going to leave Pakistan and Pak proxies. We have seen that how Prime Minister asserted, Mitti mein mila di. Ever since Prime Minister has made that assertion, slew of measures have been taken by India that has already sent shivers down spine of Pakistan. India has decided to freeze Indus Water Treaty, because of which Pakistan has already started feeling heat. Not only that, India has also closed airspace, and now this air power on display. So this is really very important. You have to understand, on one hand, Indian Air Force is far better than Pakistan.
Pakistan's own admissions about their alliances with terrorists have not helped their own case. Both Khwaja Asif, the current defense minister, and Bilawal Bhutto, the former foreign minister of Pakistan, have only exposed the country's harboring of terrorists.
My question to you straight off the bat is, where does America stand on this very, very sensitive issue that is generating heat on the Indo-Pakistan borders?
Yeah, it shouldn't be controversial. It's very much straightforward to me. When terrorists attack innocent people, the world should condemn it. It doesn't matter if you're the government from Pakistan or the United States or anywhere else in the world. Nobody should ever accept terrorists who are extremists, who are fundamentalists from a religion, saying that that religion should be violent towards innocent people, no matter what their background is. If you think about it, these people would kill you, not just if you're Hindu or you're a Christian, even if you're a Muslim from a different sect, they will kill you because that's the kind of people they are. They are pure evil. The God that they're following is not a God. They are following something as evil as it gets. When you can justify killing women and children because you belong to a religion, that religion should be condemned inside of that sect. I don't think they represent their entire religion, but those people should be condemned by the Pakistani government, as well as the United States government, as well as the Indian government, and everybody else with any common sense around the world.
But Dr. McCormick, Pakistan is in a state of denial. It has been, ever since I can remember, whether it was Osama bin Laden, whether it is the terror networks operating like the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Pakistan has always been in denial, as it is today. Even after 28 tourists, very, very innocent tourists were actually in Pahalgam, in Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan still continues to have the denial as its best form of defense. Do you think this is believable by the world community at large?
I think they have a choice. I think the best way to deny something is condemn it. You don't have to say that you're responsible for it. You don't have to claim responsibility for harboring those people. But what you can do is pretty simple. You say, that is evil. That is wrong. We do not support that. And if we find it in Pakistan, we'll root it out and we'll destroy it. That's a strong statement against something that's very evil. If you say something like, well, we didn't have anything to do with it, or if you say like one of their defense minister or somebody said, that we are doing the dirty work for the United States, that is not acceptable. Don't ever put that on the United States. The United States would never support Muslim violent extremists attacking people in any part of the world, because we have the same problem here. As a matter of fact, we've fought against that for decades now. That is an insulting insinuation, and it should be condemned by the United States government, first of all, and the Pakistani government. The head of Pakistan should be saying that is ridiculous. We would never infer that about the United States, and we'll never support a terrorist regime. We should always condemn it and root it out at its base. And that's the only thing that they should be saying.
But nobody has denied it. In fact, their defense minister, Khwaja Asif, has said that not just the United States, it is the United Kingdom for which they do this as job work. That interview is not to an Indian channel. It is to Sky News, a British channel. And there is no denial coming in from any level of the government in Pakistan. So do you think condemnation is enough when there is confession of this kind that is staring at us?
Well, first of all, I think that statement is objectionable at the very least. I think it should be addressed from the top levels of the Pakistani government to clarify. And until they clarify it, there should be there should be, how should I say, I don't want to get too strongly worded in this, but basically that should never be accepted as a statement from their government, and it should never be accepted by us. That to me is a ridiculous statement. It's an outrageous statement. It's an insulting statement. I think Secretary of State should actually address it.
But we haven't heard United States of America taking objection to that. And so far, while in 2016 and 2019, when India had to take limited retaliatory military action, there was American support. How's the situation today if India was to exercise that option?
Well, I think President Trump's been very clear that he stands with India and against something that's very evil, against terrorism. I think the United States has been very clear on their stance against terrorism. I think we have helped other people in coordination with intelligence gathering, which I think we'll continue to do, to root out these terrorist cells, because they are coordinating, whether it be Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, let's see, anything that anywhere around the world, we should be coordinating our efforts to destroy and root out these evil terrorist groups that are coordinating with each other. And I think you'll continue to see United States and India draw closer, not just economically, but also strategically when it comes to going against evil regimes.
India is piling the pressure, and there is also national consensus for a response. The opposition, many of whose members were part of an all-party meeting following the Pahalgam attacks, have backed the government to respond strongly. So when will it be? Where will it be? We are all watching very closely.